Okay, here's a garden update. Today is June 10th, 2017. I have wing beans coming up. It looks like this plant is more productive last year. So I planted it last year, my first time. Of course, it died down during the winter. And I didn't mean to plant it again, but apparently the roots were still there. I didn't plant any seeds. I knew nothing dropped there, but it came up again. So I'm pleased. So you can see there's a lot of flowers coming out. It's pretty productive all around. I had to cover some of my tomatoes. So this is actually mixed in with a tomato. And I've picked a few tomatoes from here, but I think it's gonna give me more. And here's my zucchini. I only have one plant right now. It was healthier at some point, and it was giving me zucchini, but not quite as much as I wanted. So every year I try on zucchini, and every year I'm kind of like a pass-fail. This is an eggplant I grew from seeds, so this is one of my many attempts for eggplant. So far, so good. I think it's not getting enough light, but I'm gonna try to trim stuff that are on top of it. Now here's my little patch experiment. So these are beans and corn. As you can see, there's like corn growing there. It's really not that many. I only planted 4 seeds, and it all came up. There was squash here before, but it died on me. So now I have my ampalaya or my bitter melon growing. So this one is turning out to be a beast of a plant. I just noticed I've harvested a few plants from a few bitter melons from here. So there's space right there, so I'm okay with that. There's a bunch of sunlight coming through. My parsley is just a champion. This one outlived the winter. It's getting shaded out, but I think it's okay. Now, this one's growing, and I'm letting it grow. I don't know what it is. I know it's not a weed. It's kind of unusual. It has like a citrusy smell, and has some like thorns at the back. So I don't know what these are. I don't know what that is either, but has some pretty flowers, so I'm letting it grow. Okay, here's my like crazy patch right here. I have pumpkin growing, that's sweet potatoes, and that's regular tomato. There's a bitter melon that's come out. I planted some zinnias, and there were supposed to be some green onions here, but it didn't grow. There's a bitter melon, volunteer plant, and then I finally have turmeric growing on this patch. I didn't think it was gonna grow, but I have like one plant right there, and then that one right here. Now look at I love this plant. It's edible, it's shiso, but I don't really eat it. The thing that I found about this is when you trim it to the bottom, the leaves form into like flower shaped leaves. It's so cool. But if you just let it grow, it just looks like this. So it would give you flowers, but the shape remains the same like this. But if you keep trimming it, then they start looking like little flowers. So I like that. Let's see. I'm gonna go back here. I have more turmeric growing. This one is coming out, and I think that's a volunteer. Okay. I have okra, baby okra. I think it's not growing as quick because it's not it was getting shaded. This used to be like a really gigantic sunflower, and as you can see, a lot of these kind of broke off. We had some really strong winds come through from a storm, but it's okay. I think God's telling me that I need to cut this so that eventually all of these get sunshine. So I have a mix. As you can see, they're all mixed up. I have tomatoes here, and where are the... I thought it had some. Okay, this is one plant. So I got that growing there, and this is, and there's more right there. So this is sitaw, or yard bean. So there's a bunch of them coming out now. My problem is if I can't catch the ones that are going at my neighbor's side, then I'm not gonna be able to harvest it. She lets me in there, but most of the time they're not home. So okay, so then I have the carrots. Most of the carrots that I've been harvesting are from this patch right here. You can see there's ones coming out. I should probably get that out. Let me see. Something's eating that. Okay, so that's a fat one. So I learned that if it's still green like this, it's probably not ready for harvest. So I harvested a few already, so you can see there's the holes right there. So eventually I'm gonna clear this out. Oh look, this is my harvest for today. I might just snack on this. So normally I try to trim these. I saw somewhere on YouTube this lady trims a lot of her beans, and it becomes more productive, because what it does is it will just grow fat instead of long. Alright, but there's some parts like it's hard for me to reach some of these without falling on myself, so I'll try my best to get that. I might just try to snip it. And then I have my Malabar spinach. These are all volunteers. I had the plant here last year, so the seeds just kind of fell down, and I was fine with that. I got more okra coming through. Turmeric. So this used to be all turmeric right here, and I pulled all of them out. I had like bags of turmeric. I didn't want them here because when it grows tall, it was blocking the sprinkler, but I'm gonna let this patch grow and see what happens. So I have my sage and a volunteer bitter melon, and then I have my lemon balm in the same bed. I have one okra tucked in there. So this is my upal. I forget what it's called in English. I've harvested one on here already, and then somewhere tucked in there is one bitter melon. So I'm just letting that grow a little bit more. Snip this off. Alright, so this entire bean plant, this is new. I bought this, I think it's Baker Creek seeds, and they're purple long beans. So I'm excited. They're pretty cool. They're different from the other yard bean that I was showing. Here are my tomatoes. Again, I started these from seeds. So I forget what they're called. I'm very bad at labeling. I just call them tomatoes. But I should start labeling them with the type of tomatoes they are. And then this is, we call it batao. It's a bean plant, but I don't know what it's called in English. I looked it up, but I don't remember. Okay, that's a sunflower. Here again, and here's the fig that I propagated from my dad's tree. So it started as a little stick. So that is growing along, and this one is too. So I got two of those. I need to transplant probably not this fall, but next spring, most likely, especially this one. This one's ready to be planted. Okay, it's very loud. Okay, and there's Nina. Hi, Nina. Hi, Mina. You're such a pretty girl. Okay, and then, so this one, so I got flowers, sunflowers all over the place, but this is a different one. It's a small sunflower. I should have not put it there. I didn't realize it's gonna get overshadowed by this huge. So this is literally called a giant sunflower. So I have more of these seeds. I bought them from, I forget where I bought them, but I like them. I love sunflowers, so I'll have different variations next year. My spider lilies, so these are the ones that I created the border finally this year. I completed this whole section. This used to be all cardboard and there are no plants. I didn't mean to put any plants here, but for whatever reason I decided to just do it. So I have, I forget what it's called. You can see the dogs trample on this, so I'm not so upset. This one is a turmeric. That is a volunteer plant, so I'm just gonna leave that one alone. Okay, so then this started out as like a small circle of plants. I got oregano, and I have this ginger that's growing. I keep trying to snip off the plants, the leaves that are shading it, because it needs some sunshine. But I have another one that I planted somewhere. Okay, so this is, I think this is fennel. I don't know where this came from. Actually, it started coming up from that side of the porch, and the seeds kind of just blew all over the place. So you can see I have them all over, and I have to pull so many of them because they can get really tall, as tall as me. But I like them in certain spots that I would cut them. Like I feel like they're really nice, like fluffy looking accents to the garden. So I like that. And these